What up, y'all? My name is Angel Shreve, back at y'all with another video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Today, I want to tell a really juicy story about when I got fired for basically supporting Colin Kaepernick. And it's taken me a while to tell this story because, I really just I'm not a basher. Like, that's not the type of person I am. I always like to speak highly of people and think the best of people. But sometimes, you just gotta let people know. Like, you just gotta check them because stuff just don't be right. And let me just give y'all a little like a prelim to the story. I was working as a receptionist it was kind of like a smaller company, for a property management company. And it wasn't like a huge, corporation where you're protected and you can and can't do certain things or say certain things. It wasn't that type of business. Like, it was a family-owned business. They did what they wanted. They said what they wanted. And that's just the way it was. And for the most part, it didn't really bother me. I'm not a super sensitive person, or politically correct or whatever. I'm not like that. I wasn't raised like that. We say whatever we want in my house. So, to go and work in an environment where they were kind of like that too, it didn't really bother me that much. I said, as long as they don't do nothing to personally, like, come at me, then I'm straight. Then we good. Say whatever you want. I don't care. Words don't mean nothing to me. You feel me? So I wasn't tripping. But one day, I got a letter on my desk from the owner, who was like an older white guy, maybe in his like 70s. He was older, the boss. And he put a letter on my desk for me to read, and it was from the National Police Organization. Put a handwritten letter next to it in response to the letter from the police organization. So it was two letters. It was one from the National Police Organization or something like that, and then it was one that he wrote himself, the boss, in response to the letter he received. So the letter he received from the National Police Organization, I want to read a little bit of it. Okay, so the name of the organization was the National Association of Police Organizations. So I'm not going to read the whole letter. I'm going to just read a little snippet of it. Mr. Kaepernick is known not as a successful athlete, but as a shallow dilettante seeking to gain notoriety by disrespecting the flag for which so many Americans have fought and died. The inclusion of Mr. Kaepernick's in Nike's Just Do It ad campaign also perpetuates the falsehood that police are racist and aiming to use force against African American and persons of color. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, the subject of the letter, in featuring Mr. Kaepernick in the Just Do It campaign, Nike grossly insults the men and women who really do make sacrifices for the sake of our nation. We are calling on all our member officers, their family and friends to join in boycotting all Nike products. This was on my desk. Why is this on my desk? Why is this even on my desk? Like, this doesn't have nothing to do with property management. This don't have nothing to do with my job. Like, I'm the only black person that works in the office. Like, did you even think for a second that this might be inappropriate? So basically, he put this on my desk along with this handwritten letter that he wanted me to retype and mail to the police organization. And I'm, again, not going to read this whole thing, but, basically it says, "Sir, I agree," stating that he is in favor of boycotting Nike and all these other things. Why is this even on my desk? Like, what are we even talking about here? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I was so pissed when I saw this letter, and the owner wasn't even there at the time. He actually put it on my desk and then he left out. So I show up, I'm looking at the letter, pissed, and I just made a copy of it. The original I put back on his desk, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna leave a note on his desk and tell him to come talk to me when he comes back. And I was just like, I went to the bathroom and I called my grandma and I'm like, am I tripping? Because this is mad disrespectful. Like, this is just rude. So she was like, no, you're not tripping, and you know, I wouldn't be mad. I don't think it would be wrong for you to speak up for yourself. So I was just like, you know what, this is my opportunity to tell him how I really feel, and if he don't like it, he just don't like it. It is what it is. So when he came back, I was just like, you know, I really respect you as my boss. Anything you ask me to do, you know, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do a good job at it. The only thing is that this letter that you put on my desk, I don't really, this doesn't really pertain to my job duties as a property management receptionist, and I would prefer to just be left out of all like your political views and your, you know, your social things, like, you know. And I was very polite, I was very respectful, you know. I was just like, I just would rather just not even like do these types of things. Like, anything else you ask me to do, I will do it, but these types of things, you know, me typing this letter for you, I just wasn't comfortable. I felt like me typing the letter was basically saying, like, going along with the whole situation. Like, no, just leave me out of it. Leave me out of it, because obviously I have a different point of view. But I'm not about to express that to you at work. So why would you feel comfortable expressing? Like, he was like, what do you want? What do you want me to take out of it to make it, like, you know, not? I was like, it's nothing. It's nothing you can take out of it. I already saw it. I already saw the first letter. And he was like, okay, well, we just won't even, like, we'll just act like you didn't see it. Okay, but I already saw it, though. I already saw it. So now what? He was like, well, here's the thing. If you don't type the letter, then you don't have a job here anymore. Cool. You ain't got to tell me twice. I've been waiting for an opportunity to slide out of here. So I was just like, okay. Went, packed up my stuff. The office manager, a lady, she was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was just like, he asked me to do something that I don't feel comfortable doing. And he said that if I don't do it, then I don't have a job here no more. See ya. And for me, I'm a firm believer that God has everything planned out for my good. Everything that happens, good or bad, is like for my good. So I just saw that as like, okay, Lord, you about to open up another door for me. I wasn't tripping because I knew that God was on my side, because I was doing what I was supposed to do. And I came to him respectfully. I didn't go off. I didn't have no attitude. Of course, I was mad internally, but externally, like, I was cool as a cucumber. And so the owner's son, who was maybe like in his 40s, early 50s, was just like, he was just shook. Like, you know, obviously he was slightly younger, so he kind of knew, you know, the times that we in. Like, you can't just be doing that. So I packed up my stuff. The owner tried to come argue with me, and, well, you don't want to do it, and like, he started trying to talk slick, and I was just like, you know what, we don't have to do this. Like, we don't have to go back and forth. I'm just finna go. And so as I'm on my way out to the car, the owner's son comes up to me and was just like, you know what, I am so sorry. Like, he just an old guy. He don't know nothing. You know, times is obviously a lot different than they were when he was your age. So just please forgive him. But I just want you to know, like, you have such a great attitude, and wherever you go, you're going to do well, because you're very smart. You're bright. Like, you always have a smile. So you're going to do well. And again, I'm so sorry about this. And I'm like, you know what? It's good. Like, I'm not even worried about it. This is all a part of God's plan. But I think that the most important thing to take from all of this was that I can't be afraid to speak up for myself. Now, if it's an instance where, you know, you're asking me to do something that is within my job description, absolutely, I'm gonna do it. But that didn't have anything to do with my job, and it was very inappropriate. And I came to you respectfully and told you that I didn't like it. So I think it's important that we start speaking up for ourselves when stuff is inappropriate, or if it doesn't feel right, or, you know, if it just don't sit well with you. We gotta start speaking up, because imagine all the other people who he did little slick stuff to that just was too scared to lose their job. No, forget that. God got me. If you doing something that I don't agree with, or that don't sit well with me, it's gonna get addressed. Period. it really made me realize the journey that Kaepernick is on. Like, if that happened to me and I just got a little office job and basically lost my office job, like, I could only imagine what it's like for him to be losing all this money and all these things to stand up for what he believed. But look at him now. Like, he got endorsements. He's doing well. Like, he's still doing well and standing up for what he believed. Like, we should all be able to draw strength and courage from that. And I think that that's what empowered me to speak up about it, because I know the journey that he's on. But fast forward, almost a year later, and I got a job making double what I was making at that job. It's consistent. It's cool. I just got a promotion. So I hope this story touches you guys, or touches somebody, or helps somebody along their journey. But it's definitely more where that came from. I have plenty more stories to tell. So I thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.